How to give away your power. My wife took 3 of my daughters shopping for school this past week. It's something that she likes to do with them, and quite honestly, they would rather go with her than go with me on any given day. Anyways, when they came home, one of my daughters was upset that it was hard to find clothes that fit her the way she wants. She was upset and crying. Like any good father, I took up arms and I told her I'm going to go down and talk to her and straighten this out. My wife had told me that I probably should leave her alone and let her work through it. Most times because my wife is smarter than me, especially when I've taken up arms against an enemy, I did just that. I went to work, but later that night I came home and I had noticed that the lawn had not been cut, as it was my daughter's job to make sure the grass is cut. And she had already put it off for 3 days. So I was a little upset that the grass had not been touched for day number 4. I came inside and I asked out loud, as I do, pretty typical fashion for me, "Is the lawnmower broken?" My wife said that my daughter was downstairs with her older sister and she was crying and still upset about what had happened earlier. Apparently she had not worked through it after about 11 hours, and I figured it was time for her to come upstairs and talk to me about it. As we were talking, I learned that she was upset over her build, her size. It's not really her fault, she's built like me. And that a couple of kids at school had said something to her that made her feel worse. As it goes for most fathers whose children are the focus of hateful words and inappropriate comments, I felt the fire burning up through my belly, and it was fixing to come out and smite all the fools. But it's not time for smite in a situation like this. I mean, honestly, there was no one here for me to smite. They were all somewhere else. But it's a time for calm, understanding, and conversation. I asked her, why do you care what people think about you? Aren't you okay with who you are? She said, I do. Well, I did. And I said, what changed? They said that I looked like I was wearing maternity clothes. And I said, wait, are you pregnant? Jokingly, of course. She said, no. I said, if you're not wearing maternity clothes, why do you care? She told me that it was hard to deal with when people were asking her questions like that, because they were implying that she was large or larger or pregnant or whatever they were trying to imply. I don't know. I can only assume. Now, I don't think I need to tell anyone who's listening to this that it's wrong to say inappropriate and hateful things to others in an attempt to make them feel bad. In fact, we call this bullying. And I think almost everyone, except for you couple of bullies out there, agree that this is BS. And if you don't think it's wrong, come by. Come on over and we'll have a conversation about that too. Bullying has probably been a thing since the beginning of time. I don't know. I'm just guessing. In all of our attempts in this modern times to curb or stop this behavior have largely been in vain. We always seem to combat bullying by going after those who bully in kind of this passive-aggressive way and expecting them to just go, oh, okay, I'll stop. We post signs and posters in school. We have these slogans and these mantras and all these commercials on Facebook and TV and on the radio, all in this great passively aggressive attempt to stop it. Why is it not working very effectively? I'm asking. I don't know. I have my thoughts on it, but I'm not advocating direct violence. But in my day, when people bullied others, sometimes a swift butt whooping would make the bully think twice about going after someone, especially when they were causing physical harm to someone else. However, I am an advocate of defending yourself if someone's using violence upon your person. If someone is bringing such violence, you have the right to defend yourself. You also have the right to defend someone else. You can step in and defend them if they're being violently accosted. But in this case, no violence was being directed at my daughter, and I did not and would not suggest that she used violence in return. So how do we combat this type of bullying? Why do you let others dictate how you feel? I asked her. I've said this probably 1,000 times before, and I'm going to keep saying it. You cannot really control most of what happens outside of yourself, but you can control 100% of how you internalize what happens outside of you. You get to decide how you feel about it. You get to decide how you act upon it. This whole thing kind of reminds me of the gift metaphor that was going around a little while ago. If someone gives you a gift and you refuse, who does the gift belong to? If people try to give you words designed to hurt you and you refuse them, then those hurtful words belong to the person giving it. It's my personal opinion, and it's been my experience, that physical assaults are typically much easier to confront because they leave signs, they leave marks and bruises. It is more difficult to hide this type of bullying from those who are paying attention. Psychological bullying is a much different thing, however. It causes marks and bruises that cannot be seen. And when gone unseen for a very long time, the damage can, if it's not dealt with, cause tremendous amounts of long-term issues for someone. In this case, it's up to the victim to say something, and many times they do not say anything until the damage is already done. This is why I pay very close attention to my children in their day-to-day lives. Their social media interactions, their phone conversations, their text conversations. I kind of pry into their world because I'm in a need-to-know position. I need to know. I need to help them understand some things when issues like this come up. I've also done the best job that I can instilling in them a willingness to open up to me and their mother when issues begin. None of this is foolproof, mind you. I understand that. But it does go a long way in heading off potential trouble. My daughter is one, when she sees someone being bullied, will stand up and defend that person. I know this because I have gotten more phone calls than I would like to admit from a principal or a dean or a counselor telling me that she had stepped into an altercation and forced the parties to go separate ways. But curiously enough, she has trouble standing up for herself. I suspect that many of us out there are like that, in one way or the other. I told her, one of these two things is a lie. On one hand, you will find the courage to stand up for what's right and defend another person. On the other hand, you will let someone get you down on yourself because of what they say to you. Which one of these is a truth and which one is a lie? When you see someone being picked on, you find that fire in the pit of your belly and stand up for them. But when someone says something to you that hurts your feelings, you don't light that fire and you just seem to accept what they say. I believe that the moments when you stand up for others is the truth, and the moments that you allow others to dictate your feelings and emotions is the lie. My brother David Edge used to say all of the time, the greatest lie ever told is the one we tell ourselves. How very, very true. You get what you allow. This is something else that I've said countless times again and again, and I will probably continue saying it forever and ever. How about a story? Once upon a time, there were two farmers whose fields were separated only by a fence. The one farmer plants delicious melons of all kinds. The other farmer grows nasty, prickly cacti. The cactus farmer is jealous of the melon farmer because he gets all of the attention, and everyone wants to buy melons and not cacti. So the cactus farmer starts throwing cacti seeds over the fence. The melon farmer sees this and decides to do nothing about it, just accepting this passive-aggressive attempt of retribution. The cactus farmer sees this and takes note that the melon farmer knows he is doing this and is doing nothing about it, encouraging him to keep throwing the seeds over the fence. Over time, the melon farmer's crops start to change, and eventually all he is able to grow is cacti. The melon farmer, allowing this action to go unchecked, now joins in the cactus farmer's misery because no one wants to come and buy cacti. He allowed himself to be dragged into a condition of despair because he did nothing to stop the cactus farmer from polluting his crop. He got exactly what he allowed. The mind works very much in this way. It's my opinion that the mind is the bridge between the other two, the body and the spirit, or soul if you prefer. It operates much like a field or a garden. If positive thoughts are planted and cultivated, then your outlook will be positive, and you'll have confidence and a healthy self-esteem. You'll understand your self-value and self-worth. If you plant negative and self-defeating thoughts, then your outlook and self-esteem will be negative. Likewise, if you allow others to plant negative seeds in your mind, then the outcome is the same as if you put them there yourself. You join them in their misery, just like the melon farmer, and it will be because you allowed it to happen. My daughter had agreed that standing up for others is the truth and allowing others to control how she feels is a lie. She told me it's hard to stand up for myself. And I told her I know it is. It's something that even I struggle with sometimes. Sometimes I forget the power I hold over myself and my feelings and emotions. But it is a struggle that is worth time and effort. The more you practice these principles, the easier they will become. Doing what is right is never, ever easy. I left her with this before sending her off to bed. It was getting really late. When we allow other people to dictate how we feel and seek to change for them, it creates a precedence in their minds and in ours. If you decide to change for someone, understand that it will not be the end of their need to control you. They will find something else, and then something else, and on and on and on and on it goes. It will be endless. Seek to make the changes that you want. These will be harmonious to you and your whole self, and not at the expense of your self-confidence and your self-worth and your self-esteem. Her mother and I have never sought to change her, only guide her and my other children in positive directions. I told her we love you no matter what you look like, how much you weigh, how you dress, what things you like. I sent her to bed with a hug and a kiss after that. The point I was making is this. You have the power to allow and reject influences from others. Only you have the power to influence your feelings and emotions. Only you can give that power away to someone else. Don't trust others to control how you feel. Trust only yourself with this task. If you allow others to dictate your feelings and emotions, you only have yourself to blame. Not a popular thing to say, I know. I just don't care if it's popular or not. And in fact, I've never cared what was popular or not if it needed to be said. If you're not a subscriber to the YouTube channel, please go over there. Well, you're there now, watching this video, hopefully. And if you are, and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like. Make sure to share it with your friends. And drop us a line in the comment box down below. We'd love to hear from you. I love you all very much. And until next time, awaken the night within.